Before we get started with this video, I want to let you guys know about my Discord server. We're talking college basketball live games, just college basketball in general, bracketology, Q&As, all that stuff. Hit the link in the description to join the Super Celtic 24 Discord server. Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to our first conference tournament prediction video. I probably won't be doing these for too many conferences. I'll be doing this, of course, we'll have this Missouri Valley Conference one. Then most of the Power Fives, I may do a couple others. We'll see, maybe throw in the American. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of conferences this year where it's up for grabs. I got a couple of requests to do the Missouri Valley Conference, which I think is pretty interesting. I feel like there's a clear top two with Northern Iowa and Loyola. But you'll see here, and we'll get to the seeding here in a second, that Loyola Chicago is actually the 4 seed in their conference. We have Northern Iowa at 14-4, but then we also have Missouri State and Drake all at 13-5, along with Loyola Chicago. But due to tiebreakers, we have Loyola as the 4 seed. So what many people thought was going to be the championship game for this conference between Northern Iowa and Loyola Chicago will actually be happening in the semifinals. Unless Bradley makes something happen, unless like Illinois State and Indiana State make something happen too. But that's just something to keep an eye on, something interesting that ended up happening. Arch Madness is going to be crazy in St. Louis. The tournament's going to be happening, I think, starting, Wednesday? Yeah, I think Wednesday going on through Sunday. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens from this. It'll be one of the first conference tournaments to conclude, one of the first bids to be completed. But yeah, taking a look here at the conference tournament bracket. Up first, we have Northern Iowa at the number 1 seed. Then we have Missouri State at the 2 seed. Drake as the 3. And then Loyola Chicago as the 4. Loyola Chicago is really the only team that has a case for an at-large bid. And right now, I believe in Joe Lenardi's most recent bracketology, they are listed as a last 4 in team. So I think any loss that is not to Northern Iowa, and even then, they would be subject to a lot of bid thieves. I think Loyola Chicago is basically in a must-win situation for this conference. They've been faltering down the stretch. I think they had lost like 3 or 4 games here in the last month or so, maybe, something like that. But it's just something to keep an eye on. Loyola Chicago, it looked like they were going to be like an 8 seed maybe in the tournament, but have been faltering as of late, as I mentioned. But then we have, after Loyola Chicago, Bradley as the 5, who had beaten Loyola earlier in the season. Then as the 6, we have Southern Illinois. Then we have Valparaiso as the 7, Illinois State as the 8, Indiana State, Larry Bird's alumni there as the 9, and then Evansville, the team that beat Kentucky a couple years ago. I don't want to talk about that, as the 10 seed. But yeah, let's go and get into our predictions here for this conference tournament for Arch Madness, the first tournament to really get things kicked off. Up first, we got to do our kind of playing games here. We'll have Illinois State and then Indiana State. I think that Illinois State's probably going to win that one. I mean, that one's kind of a 50-50 shot. But then over there, taking a look at Valparaiso and Evansville, I don't see any world in which Evansville ends up winning that one. I got Valparaiso winning. Evansville is just, I don't know what's going on with that program, but they are not looking too good. So up first, our first quarterfinal round matchup. This year, we are going to look at Northern Iowa advancing on past Illinois State. Don't think Northern Iowa is going to struggle there. That's a team that always really seems to be making a noise in the NCAA tournament. They had that crazy half-court buzzer beater from Paul Jesperson a couple of years ago, and then had the I think it was that Northern Iowa that had the complete blow-up against Texas A&M, where Texas A&M came back from like 12 in the last minute or something crazy like that. But then up next, Loyola Chicago versus Bradley. As I just previously mentioned, Bradley had beaten Loyola Chicago earlier in the season, but I have Loyola moving on there and beating Bradley. Up next, we have Drake versus Southern Illinois. I don't think we're going to see an upset here. I think that Drake is going to move on past Southern Illinois. And then the same thing with Missouri State against Valparaiso. I feel like there's kind of a clear top 4 here, maybe 5 if you want to throw in Bradley, and then the rest are just kind of filler teams here in the conference. So here we have the semifinals. Up first is Northern Iowa versus Loyola Chicago. This is the matchup that everybody in the Missouri Valley Conference wants to see, and I'm going to go with the upset, I guess, in terms of seeding. I think that Loyola Chicago is the better team. They are the more battle-tested team with a couple of people left from the team last year that ended up upsetting Illinois, as I think it was an 8-1 upset. I think they're going to pull off the upset here. They only had one game behind Northern Iowa this year, and they had that crazy game this past weekend where I think Northern Iowa won 102-96 in overtime, I think was the final score. But here I have Loyola Chicago. I think they'll get revenge there and end up winning that game. And they will face the winner of 3-seed Drake and 2-seed Missouri State. And I got 3-seed Drake advancing on there. Drake, I think, had made it to the last four in, I want to say, last year. I want to say they faced Wichita State in one of those playing games. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the matchups. So here in our first conference tournament predictions video, we're going to have a 3-seed versus a 4-seed, though it's not your prototypical 4-seed, for the conference championship. And for the conference championship, as the winner here, I'm just kind of using that Excel bracket that I use for the bracketologies, I am going to go with Loyola Chicago, pulling off the victory there and winning the automatic bid from the Missouri Valley Conference. I think they're the best team in the conference. As a 4-seed, I get to say it's an upset too. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your own predictions here for this Missouri Valley Conference in the comment section below. I know it's a short video, but there's not a whole lot of analysis to go in here when there's really only 4 teams and really kind of 2 teams that people care about with Northern Iowa and Loyola Chicago. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Drake or Missouri State or something like that. But yeah, Loyola Chicago is going to win the Missouri Valley Conference, in my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.